next video is about setting up speakers for the little event we're setting up. So we've got front of house speakers, one on the left, one on the right of stage. They're pointing out to stage to let the people hear what's going on. We've got a monitor wedge speaker. That's for our reference towards our artist or towards our speaker so they can hear what they're doing. We've got two speaker stands for the front of house speakers to make sure they get up and over the crowd. And we've also got a couple of speaker cables to join the front of house speakers and to join the monitor wedge speaker. We're going to run them back, tape them down on the ground nice and neat so that no one's going to trip over them and so that everything looks nice and neat and tidy. So we're going to set up a couple of speakers in this short video. So we've got two front of house speakers. They're the speakers that are going to be pointing towards the crowd. And then we've got a monitor wedge speaker. So that's the speaker that's on stage for the people that are performing or speaking or presenting so that they can get a reference of what they're saying as opposed to what the crowd's hearing. So I've set up a speaker stand there. We can see we've got some holes in that speaker stand which can locate different height settings. And it's got a base that's slid out and creates a nice, firm, solid platform for that speaker. And what we're trying to do is really get that speaker to be above our head height. So there's a hole in the bottom of the speaker. We want to line up that hole with our pole. And then that'll slide in and on. And then our speaker's nice and secure on the speaker stand. And you'll see there that the horn of the speaker, or the high end of the speaker, is above my head, so it's not going to get blocked by any people or objects in the room. Here's a bit of an easier way to lift a speaker. So we slide the stand on when the speaker's lying on the ground, and then just walk it up using a pivoting action, just like we did with the stage deck. Fast forwarding, we're going to do that again for the other side speaker. So we've got two front of house speakers because we can have a left and a right mix to mix in things together and create a nice even coverage into the crowd. Speaker goes on top. I'm nice and tall so I can just lift it on. Next thing we need to do once our speakers are nice and firm and secure is cable them. In this case, I've got some grey 3-pin speaker lead, which is going to run back to an amplifier. So one for the left speaker and one for the right speaker. And for my monitor wedge speaker, I've got a black NL4 cable. Same principle of cable that's running some signal down copper, but just a different connector. So this grey speaker cable has the same end at both ends. Because it's not like a microphone lead. So we don't want them to get confused with microphone leads. And our excess cable we're going to run out the back behind the drape where our amp is or where our system is. So nice and slow there, we can see our female connector of our speaker cable is going to go into one of those male holes on the back of the speaker. We click it in and that's our connection. And there's another hole there that we could branch out to another speaker. So managing our cables in our speaker stand, leaving a little bit of slack towards the speaker, 1.5 wraps of black tape this time because we've got a black pole. And the grey cable's on the back edge of that pole, so it's nice and slick looking. So same deal again, fast forwarding, making our cables nice and neat. Now, here's our NF4 cable. So it's a blue and a black connector, and it has a key system. So there's a big key and a little key on that cable. And you've got to align it up with the holes in the speaker. Big key to big key and little key to little key. Have a look nice and close there. So once we put that in, we push it in and then click to the right. And then to release it, we slide that lever out and turn to the left. That's our NL4 connector. And see, that sits in a wedge mode. So it's already got that angle on it where it points towards your face. So if you're playing your guitar or speaking or singing or doing comedy, you've got a projection of what you're saying back towards you so that you feel confident. So yeah, just in a wrap up, we've got our front of house speakers and our monitor wedge. And lastly, I'm just going to grab that cable, unplug it, slide it up inside the stage skirt there so it's still nice and neater and even neater. So now we've got all of our cables, but some of them may cause a trip hazard. So we're going to use some gaffer tape to tape that cable down so that people walking on and off stage aren't going to trip over it. So we'll just tack it down first, and then we'll get some longer strips of the gaffer tape and really cover that cable up and make sure that it can't be tripped over. Fast forwarding. Those long strips over the cable, trying to get full coverage of that cable. So we've got sticking some of the tape to the ground and some of the tape to the cable. We'll do another strip over the top of it just for good measure. Tidy the skirt up.